What do you think the theme is of the passage?
I think kind of the theme is kind of not really the theme, but kind of insanity with not really insanity, but he kind of takes the raven, and when he sees the raven, he thinks it's like from hell, even though it's just a raven, and then it starts talking, and then like throughout the story, he's talking about this Leonor, and then like he's lost.
Yeah.
Someone dear to him.
I think the raven kind of represents someone that he's lost, or like someone he cared about, and then it's like coming back to him. Or it could-
Yeah, he repeatedly talks about Leonor and how he lost her.
Oh, it's not. They said schmucks.
So the raven could be like a bad omen because maybe the raven, he somehow linked the raven to someone who he lost, and that's kind of why he felt that way toward the raven.
Yeah, I kind of think it represents his loneliness too, because it's like he talks about Leonor a ton, and as soon as he talks about her, the raven comes up a ton, and I think that kind of symbolizes that when he thinks about her, he thinks about the raven too.
What do you think the setting is in the Raven? Because it doesn't really describe what the setting is, but you kind of know it's not modern time.
I think it's just a regular old house.
It says chamber door a lot, so I'd guess a chamber.
Yeah, like people, when I'm thinking of chamber door, people don't really say a chamber.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's like 1800s.
Definitely past tense, but the character is like living in that time, and he's definitely in his house because he refers to it as his door. So then, yeah.
Who do you think the characters are?
Well, the raven, the narrator, and maybe Leonard, because he's just referenced so
Yeah.
much in the story.
That's what I said.
What do you think what symbolism is used?
The raven is
Yeah,
a
mainly.
symbol of something, probably
Yeah,
loneliness.
I think it symbolizes like loneliness and lost
Loss.
love because every time he brings up Leonor, the raven comes up and tells him that he'll never see her again.
That's pretty sad.
Mhm.
What do you think about the passages arrangement?
I think it kind of goes in order. So it's definitely in order, but
Chronological order?
yeah, chronological. And it's sometimes like the second paragraph and second stanza is a little bit different because it's a lot more past tense than the first one. Because the first one, he's talking as it happens, and then the second stanza, he's talking back about it.
Because he says,
Yeah.
distinctly I remember, so yeah, there's definitely past tense there.
I think it's kind of like the exposition instead of just all being right at the start. It's kind of scattered around the story because it's not really. You don't know that he lost Leonard right away, but it's kind of more in the middle.
For our second question in the second reading, what was the significance of the word mortal in the second line of this paragraph? What did you guys think of the significance of that word?
I thought it was kind of weird how he used the word. He said, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. So he's saying it kind of as if he refers to himself as not mortal, so maybe immortal, but maybe it's just kind of figuratively speaking, and not
Yeah,
literally.
like maybe his love for Leonor is mortal and he's bummed about it.
I think it shows like the importance of the dreams, because if no one else has done it before, then that's pretty significant.
Yeah, I agree with Cole because it says, "Dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before." So it's saying that like no other mortal.
Yeah, and it used dared too, so no mortal
Yeah.
even thought of doing it.
Did any of you have to look up any of the words?
Yes.
Like, I looked up mortal again, because to get a better understanding, and it kind of means, like, immortal, or you can't die, and I thought it was kind of, like, he's not, like, his people seem to be dying, but it's like he's immortal, so he's not dying, and his family or whoever is passing away, and he's lonely now because he kind of has no one.
And if you go to like the author, the actual author lost almost all of his family to tuberculosis, so kind of makes sense.
And then he made another one he made another passage specifically about Leonor, and it was about a young girl who died. So,
One of the words I looked up was the Knight's Plutonium Shore, and because he was talking about like the raven going back to the Knight's Plutonium Shore, and it means like go back to the underworld.
That's another thing. At the end of the passage, he says, like, that he thinks the raven is from, like, the underworld, or, he says prophet, thing of evil, prophet, still bird, or devil. Like, he thinks that
it's a demon.
Like
Yeah,
it got
it's like-
sent to him.
Mhm.
And it's,
Yeah, and the plutonium shore or something.
yeah.
That kind of represents that too.
Oh, I get it. Plutonium, like Pluto.
Yeah.
That would be the Greek name for Hades.
For like finding figurative language, do you guys find any like good figurative language?
I thought personification was one of the best examples of it because it really
Yeah.
set the mood of the story. Like, it said in one of the paragraphs that sad, it just referenced sad a lot and made it seem very depressed story.
I think that, as we talked about earlier, the raven kind of symbolizes his sorrow. It's kind of personification a little bit because the raven is like keep coming back to him and he keeps thinking about losing her. It's kind of sad for him.
And then another thing with the figurative language with personification is that personification's making inhuman things have human-like traits, like the raven.
Yeah.
Even though it's the raven is talking to him, and that kind of makes my point stronger about the insanity that the raven symbolizes, because ravens don't talk. Like, he's so like not right now, because he's grieving that he's seeing ravens talk.
And the author, he made another passage that was about a guy going completely insane and murdering someone. So,
It could be the same character too.
Yeah.
Throughout each story, you could just be focusing on one character, and each separate story could be another part of the character's life.
How does the author use narrators or characters to tell a story or paint a picture?
I think it mainly uses a raven to like represent the narrator's insanity, and that kind of makes the whole story,
Yeah.
creates the plot.
Yeah, he also uses a narrator well because the narrator who's talking is really descriptive and like sees things like the raven, and he even says like small details like it was in December and in the winter and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.